Om Tridevibhyo Namaha. Welcome back to Trishakti Healing. Today, let's spend some time understanding Sade Sati of Shani Dev Ji. Now, Shani is a very prominent planet in our Kundli. In Kal Purusha's Kundli, Shani Dev Ji occupies the 10th and 11th house, that is Makar and Kumbh Rashi. And from there, he becomes he has the adipatya of all our karmas and all the labh, the benefits that we have in life. And for each one of us, other than where Kumbh Rashi and Makar Rashi are placed, Shani Dev Ji would look at various drishtis. He will go through Dhayyas, Sade Satis, Mahadasha, etc. So we will speak about each of these another day. But today we will speak about Sade Sati because many people are not aware of the concept of Sade Sati and they miss one of the most critical celestial events in our life, a period of true transformation. And for those who understand a little bit of Sade Sati, many times the guidance given to them is so partial that they are more fear-oriented in Sade Sati as compared to really understanding what Sade Sati truly is. So stay with me as I talk to you about what is the true meaning of Shani passing over Chandra and what does that combination mean and what happens in Sade Sati, which are the people for whom possibly it can give good results, bad results, and then what do you really do in Sade Sati and what kind of upayas would work for you. So stay with me as we talk through all of this. It is a detailed video, so stay with me to the end. Now, to begin with, as I said, Shani Dev Ji in Kalpurusha's Kundli has got the lordship of the 10th house and the 11th house. 10th house is the house of karmas. Karmas not just connected with your career, but karmas connected with all aspects of life, with your own identity, with your family, with your value systems, with your financial understanding, with your karakatva of various aspects of your own life, with respect to your family, with respect to the relationships that you have. Karma also with respect to spirituality, society, all the karmas. So Shani Dev Ji looks at all of that. And from Labh Bhav, he looks at the benefits of everything that you need to get in life, along with Jupiter, Venus, etc. Other than this, Shani Dev Ji also has karakatva of several other things, including some critical things like longevity coming from the 8th bhava and coming from the spiritual aspect, moksha, detachment aspect, travel aspect in the 12th bhava of Kalapurusha's Kundli. Now, depending on where Shani Dev Ji is sitting in your Kundli, where Makar and Kumbh Rashi fall, there are some additional karakatvas that Shani Dev Ji will bring. Like for some people, he could be your Lagnesh. For some people, he could be your Bhavesh, your Bhagyesh. And then he will bring additional impacts for you. And again, for some people, Shani Dev Ji will promise positive results. Why? Because he's strong, he's got the company or the drishti of benefics, or he's in a strong position. For some people, when he's hemmed with malefics, he's got bad influences, or he's in a weak state, he can also give bad results. So that's the story of how Shani Dev Ji will act. Now, Sade Sati happens when Shani Dev Ji passes from the 12th house from your Chandra Rashi, then over your Chandra Rashi, and the 2nd house from your Chandra Rashi. Now, what is your Chandra Rashi? The Rashi where, or the Bhava where Chandra is sitting, the Rashi occupied by that Bhava. So look at your Kundali, look at the Bhava where where Chandra is sitting, the Rashi occupied by that, the Rashi occupying that Bhava is the Chandra Rashi that you have. Now, once you get a clarity of your Chandra Rashi, the 12th house from the Chandra Rashi is the house prior to that. So let's say your Chandra is sitting in the 7th house, then your Chandra Rashi is the Rashi sitting in the 7th house. The 12th house from the Chandra Rashi is the 6th house in this case. And the 2nd house will be the 8th house for you. So that's how Chandra Rashi and Sade Sati will progress. Now, what is Chandra? Chandra is your man, Chandra is your manas, as they say. Chandra is also your sharira. Chandra is your emotional stability. Chandra is your habits. Chandra is your psychological conditioning. It is your memories related to your identity. Chandra is also family related conditioning, family related behaviors. Chandra is also your own inner coherence. Are you feeling integrated, healed, etc.? Chandra is also related to, are you emotionally dependent, emotionally independent, how your family's karma is, maturity levels. Chandra, in fact, is so powerful that when you look at somebody who is, and try to assess if the person has sthira buddhi, a quality coming from a stable Mercury, Buddha, you also assess the strength of the Jupiter and the strength of the moon to assist if the person will be stable minded or not. Such is the power of Chandra. So, Buddha alone cannot determine, a Buddha Aditya, yoga itself cannot say that a person's mind is very sharp and stable. You have to have a Sashakt Jupiter or Guru, and you have to have a Sashakt Chandra also. That is how powerful the role is. In fact, many of our sages have said that unless the moon is really strong, the power of your Kundali will actually not be realized by a human being. So unless sun is strong, the power will not emerge. Unless moon is not strong, the power will not be realized. So that's how powerful Chandra is. So then in Sade Sati, what is happening? In Sade Sati, when Shani Dev Ji passes over the 12th house from your Chandra Rashi, over your Chandra Rashi and to the second house from your Chandra Rashi, Saturn is fundamentally doing an audit, or Shani Dev Ji is doing an audit of your mind, your emotional dependencies, your family karma, your survival patterns, your maturity, all of that stuff. And this is where most people have not heard the concept of what is called Chhatrabhang. Chhatra is, in Hindi and Sanskrit, Chhatra means an umbrella or a roof, an awning, that kind of a structure that covers, that gives you shade. So that Chhatra, each of us human being depends on certain things. Somebody depends too much on family, somebody depends too much on parents, ancestral wealth, somebody depends too much on shortcuts, somebody depends too much on chance, somebody depends on their friend circle. When Shani Dev Ji goes through, or Shani Dev Ji is creating the Sade Sati for you, he quickly looks at where the fundamentals of your life are. If the fundamentals of your life are anchored in clear basics, which means you are bodily strong, your behavior is strong, your mind is strong, your emotions are strong, your family karma is strong, your maturity is strong, then in that case, Shani Dev Ji says, okay, this person, a guy or girl, is not leaning on anything. But if he finds you leaning on other things, if he finds you leaning on shortcuts and dependencies, then he will shake up that Chhatra. Then he will shake up what you are taking a shade under. Now, many astrologers would say that first time when the Sade Sati happens in a person's life, a person will lose their grandparents. The second time that Sade Sati happens, a person loses their parents. Third time that Sade Sati happens, if the person is going to live long enough, then the person loses his or her own life. That's how they describe Chhatrabhang. That's not the only thing about Chhatrabhang. Chhatra is anything you are taking refuge under. So Shani Dev Ji will destroy that Chhatra under which you are taking the shade or refuge if the fundamentals of your life are not strong. It will hence shake up all of those things. So if your Chhatra is an easygoing career, he will shake that up. If your Chhatra is, running your life cycle on debt, then he will shake that up and you'll go debt ridden. If your Chhatra is heavily depending on your family and not having an identity of your own, he will suddenly take away that family or take away that identity. If your Chhatra is, surviving on the edge and taking too many risks, then he will create an issue there for you like that. If your Chhatra is shortcuts, he will take away those shortcuts. That is what is going to happen in the Shani's Sade Sati by him looking at the audit of all these. And how does Shani Dev do this? Now let's spend some time understanding the three phases in short. Now for each of us, the three different times that it comes in our life, the Sade Sati, the effect could be slightly different. So it has to also be assessed by the condition of your horoscope and the condition of your life at that time. Also remember, in itself, Sade Sati doesn't do good or bad. It has to be understanding of Shani Dev Ji's position, Chandra's position, the gochars happening at that point in time, the dasha, the antardasha happening at that time, all of those things have an impact. However, broadly, when the first phase of Shani Dev Ji happens, when Shani Dev Ji is passing over the 12th Rashi from your Chandra Rashi, this is sort of the unsettling, the loosening phase. Here, he will make you go through a little bit of assessment, withdrawal. He may increase your expenses. He may increase your anxiety a little bit. He'll give you some hidden anxiety without you really understanding where is it coming from. He may cause some sense of detachment. But fundamentally, he is then asking you, what are you depending on? What are you heavily depending on? What are you unbalanced about? Where are you not working on your fundamentals? He's beginning to ask that question. Then as he does that for 2.5 years, you will find some unsettlement happening. Some of the things may break. Some of the things may still continue. Now, when he comes over your moon, that is the second phase of Sade Sati, this is when he will really start asserting pressure on you. Now the Chhatrabhang is really going to start happening. This is when he will give you a lot of mental heaviness. This is when Shani Dev Ji can increase your responsibility tremendously. From everywhere it seems that something new is coming. Then he may increase your delay, emotional fatigue. There will be a lot of reality checks that start happening in your life. He can also increase your loneliness and pushing you to start behaving in a mature way. And he'll also increase all the shakeups that's happening. So the Chhatrabhang is really now getting very, very heavy. So he's really asking you this question. Are you going to shape up your life? Are you going to sharpen up your mind? What are you really going to do with your body, your relationship, the expressions through your body, your mind? All of that he's going to start asking the question. Then comes the final phase of Shani Dev Ji's Sade Sati, and this is when he's passing through the second house from your Chandra Rashi. And this is where he really starts teaching you discipline and responsibility. Now, if you've not done enough hard work, if you've dragged your foot, if you've been a victim, if you've been complaining through the first two phases of Sade Sati, your troubles will only increase. Your volatility can only increase, especially if Shani Dev Ji is passing through certain fiery nakshatras or certain watery nakshatras, then that trouble can increase for you. But here, he will definitely teach you speech-related restraints, family-related restraints, money-related restraints, keep redrafting your value systems very sure, and make you look at your savings, your survival systems, make you work very, very hard. And again, like I said, if you've not learned your lessons, the lessons learned in this stage can be very hard. In fact, whatever is redundant, whatever is wrong, he will rip that away from you. And it can be a painful process that you go through. So that's how Shani Dev Ji goes through his three phases. Remember again what I said, the Chhatrabhang really happens if your fundamentals are not strong. And almost all of us have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas in our life where the fundamentals are not strong. That's why we experience the pain that we experience. Now, clearly our sages and several modern Jyotishacharyas have said very clearly that all of this doesn't really happen unless Shani and Chandra are both activated with dashas, bhuktis, transits, etc. that are happening. So let's also take a look at some combinations. Obviously, I can't describe all the combinations right now for you, but some of the combinations which will give you varying results, I can talk about, and the others you'll have to look at your own chart. So somebody senior and educated Jyotishacharya will have to look at your chart and say whether Shani is going to give you good results or bad results, and depending on that, then we need to take a look at it. Now, who are the people for whom Shani Dev Ji can give strong negative effects? Let's say your Chandra itself is weak, it's debilitated, or it's hemmed by malefic, or let's say your Shani Dev Ji is connected to moon in your natal chart, or if you are going through a Shani Mahadasha, Shani Bhukti. And in all of these cases, wherever Shani Ji is transiting, then there is a problematic combination for you. Let's say Rahu Ketu axis is impacting your moon. Let's say you're getting impacted by a weak Brihaspati. There is a Mars affliction on your Chandra. So all of these are cases where you will feel the ill effects of Sade Sati a lot more. But a very prominent thing that I want to share with you here is if you are a person who is living against Shani Dev Ji's values, which means you are lazy, you are already in a habit of debt or gambling, you are arrogant, or your family and you are arrogant, if you and your family are going through a lot of irresponsibility, if you are oppressive to others, if you are exploitative of others, if you are taking shortcuts, if you do negative things, make bad money in life, all of these kind of things, then the impact on you definitely will be very, very harsh. So that harshness could be career collapse, emotional collapse, health collapse, family burdens, financial strain, suddenly debts will come. You could go through humiliation. All of this will force you to start maturing and looking at your choices. Unfortunately, many people, when these things happen, they do superficial upayas without changing things. They go into more drama, and the drama then continues for the next 30 years in some form or the other. Yes, obviously, you will get relief based on some of your prarabdha, punya karmas, and some of the other benevolent grahas, but the underlying cause doesn't really change. Now, who are those people for whom Shani Dev Ji would not give them too much trouble? Now, here is when, let's say, both Shani Dev Ji and Chandra are strong in your chart. They are benefics, they are yoga karakas in your chart, or you are running the dasha, the antardasha of a strong benefic in your chart. Brihaspati is protecting your moon in some way. You also have Shani Dev Ji having pretty good Ashtavarga Bindus, and then you are also somebody who lives by positive values of Shani Dev Ji. So let's say you're very disciplined, you live simple, you're very patient, you are service oriented in life, you show a lot of responsibility, you are taking care of people who are less powerful than you or who have lesser means than you. You do something or the other positive for the masses through your purushartha. In all of these cases, Shani Dev Ji will smile on you and he will give you some positive consideration through this. Even then, you could see that in Sade Sati, Shani Dev Ji could increase your hard work, delay your results, make you more serious about things in life, bring a little bit of relocation to shake you up, push you into long-term building of career, health, etc. These are some things that Shani Dev Ji could do for you. So in a nutshell, you'll see, when is Sade Sati good for you? For example, strong Saturn, strong 10th house, strong moon. Sade Sati also ends up being if you have a good spiritual chart, which means the 12th and the 9th house are going through an activation. In that case, you will also see that when Sade Sati comes, you will become a lot more spiritually serious. You may meet your guru, you may go through a phase of detachment, and you could do things like mantra siddhi, deep sadhana, discover things in the sadhana space. Sade Sati also, if you have a strong Shani, then could be very good for the business people, though he will discipline you with cash flows, etc. But he will take negative business away from you. He will take negative people out of your business. Your business will restructure in a good way. If you have unwarranted partners, weak partners, Shani Dev Ji will remove that. So Shani Dev Ji also does a lot of good in that sense. But if your Chandra is weak, if your Shani Dasha's result itself is going to be bad for you, then you could have anxiety, losses, career instability, etc. If you're habituated to taking debts, gambling, your ego is too big, you're very indisciplined, you're oppressive, you're abusive of others, your tongue is not good, which means you don't speak well, or you speak a lot of negative words, you're abusive, etc. Then Shani Dev Ji will create in second and third phase a lot of wealth, family disputes, otherwise pressure, societal disputes, harsh speech can get you into trouble, etc. All of that. Ultimately, I hope you understood that Shani Dev Ji is not creating punishment for you in Sade Sati. Sade Sati is not a curse. Sade Sati is a period where Shani Dev Ji is preparing you for the positive things of life. He is maturing your mind. He is maturing your body. He is maturing your value systems. Sade Sati is not about taking things away. Sade Sati is about shaking those fundamentals. Remember the Chhatrabhang? He is basically doing Chhatrabhang of things that you are unnecessarily leaning on without really strengthening and making yourself capable. So basically, he's asking you this question that when I unsteady you, can you still be surrendered and keep working? When I shake you up, will your mind remain steady? Will your emotional certainty be there? That is what Shani Dev Ji is examining. So Hope you can get a good understanding of this from what I have shared, and also take a look at your own horoscope, talk to a good Jyotishcharya and see what are the results for you and align yourself. Now let's spend some time to understand the concept of remedy. Shani Dev Ji is one of those planets with whom remedies unfortunately would not work. You will have to show clear intent. You will have to show clear intent of action on your karma, on your acharan, on your man, on your relationships, on your vani, on your dharma, on your seva, etc. So you'll have to act. No matter how broken you feel, no matter how broken you are, you'll have to get up and take action. So without doing these mantra, dana, vrata, puja, all of these things are really not going to help you. However, if you're doing some of these things, or let's say you're so much in debt, you're so much in problem that's you're completely shut out, you are not finding any avenue at all, that's the time when Hanuman Ji's sadhana can save you. So Hanuman Chalisa can help you. You can also get a lot of support from the Sundarkand part. In fact, it is said that if you are seeing no path forward, reciting the Sundarkand can open up some paths. Remember, even then, Hanumanji likes sattvicness. Hanumanji likes discipline. He's the epoch of discipline. He's the epoch of seva. So if you're not again doing those same things that Shaniji is talking to you about karma, discipline, acharan, good behavior, dropping your ahamkara, again, Hanumanji will not help you. He will give you the power to fight only if you are sattvic. Remember that. So whichever way, you have to find sattvic means to work through with the period of Shani Dev Ji. Yes, you can do seva. Yes, you can do good for the masses. All of those things he will accept, and he will also consider that your karma. Be good to your family. Be good to yourself. Stay peaceful. Don't get angry. These are some important changes that you can immediately make when you're going through the pressure of Sade Sati. That itself will help you. If you don't listen to this, if you continue on the path of adharma, job loss, debts, humiliation, isolation, all of these things are there. If you play the victim, if you play that, oh, I don't know why this is happening, if you're not ready to change your life, if you're not going to reflect, those problems will continue. But if you become a disciplined, humble, spiritually awake person, very quickly you will see Shani Dev Ji will open up support for you. Yes, he opens up support slowly. Yes, he will make you learn the lesson so that you never forget it. But remember, with him, it's not about trying some instant magic. It won't. He won't let it work. Neither will he let it work, nor will Hanumanji let it work. They want serious change to happen. They want truthful effort. They want discipline. They want respect of time. They want responsibility. They want simplicity. They want integrity. So change all the things in your life which are complex, which are anti-Shani. Even if you have start completely new, start it. Do that. That's what Shani Dev Ji is going to ask of you when he goes through the Sade Sati. Some of these things are also things which come in the Dhaya of Shani Dev Ji, and in the Mahadasha of Shani Dev Ji also some of these lessons are there. So whatever I have shared with you, don't wait for a Sade Sati to happen. In fact, to make sure that you're on the right track, you should implement some of these changes that I have said, even otherwise in your life. Hope this was helpful. Now, before I sign off, I want to leave a little bit of message for those people who are around the people who are going through a Sade Sati. Now, you could be a parent to a person who is going through a Sade Sati. You could be a coach, a mentor, a well-wisher, a guru. You could be a teacher. You could be a friend of somebody who's going through a Sade Sati. Remember, a person who's going through Sade Sati is already going through a lot of mental chaos, and maybe they are not able to work through that. Because not everybody can reflect, and not everybody becomes very determined to change their fundamentals of life. So you as a person who's around another person who's going through a Sade Sati can become a soft coach, guide, mentor. Show them the way. Show them the fundamentals that you need to work on. Show them how they can make some small positive changes. Remember, in the Sade Sati period, since it's a 7.5 year long period, and Shani Dev Ji anyways is a slow moving planet, and he gives assessments very slowly and results very slowly, you'll have to go deep and keep doing things. So keep your support there. In fact, I've seen this with so many people that If there is a sattvic family, and if a human being has a sattvic support system and the person chooses sattvic behavior, the journey through the Sade Sati can be that much more comfortable. Yes, you will have to do your work. Yes, you will have to go through your pressures, but you will have a saving grace in Sade Sati if you have that sattvic environment. So, all of those people who have someone going through a Sade Sati, please remember this. You need to become an important support system for people going through a Sade Sati. That's my final appeal to you. I will see you very soon with some other important videos in this series where I'll talk about Sade Sati for specific Rashis, Chandra Rashis, and what can be the impact, what should they do. And I'll also speak about Shani Dev Ji's Dhaya, his Drishti, Mahadasha, etc. But till then, sever the details that I've shared with you today. If you have to rewatch this, do that. If you have some questions that you want to share with me, do that. I will answer those questions for you. And I will see you soon with another topic very, very soon. Till then, Jai Mahakal, Jai Mahakali.